I think Luke's been on the show a few times.
Couple times here.
Yeah, get a little bit of an idea what's going on here. And we are live because we both have a little bit of an idea of what's going on here.
It's been a year. I think we're doing pretty good with the internet. I think.
Yeah. I gotta say, I'm figuring it out. I do manage to go live every Sunday.
You do.
At roughly the same time.
Yeah.
I even managed to send the tweet out into the social push chat. One thing I got to work on is actually remembering to retweet it myself. Yeah. Hey, listen, it's baby steps. Baby steps.
Yep.
Yeah. But again, folks, anyway, welcome to another episode of Sundays with the General. I got familiar face, Mr. Just Luke, here with us today. He's selling the shit out of those fireworks.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The place is so well managed right now.
Yep.
With Luke in the back office talking to me. Anyway, we obviously the easy thing to talk about this week, which now because of Luke, I can probably make my I might be able to make my Netflix a tax write-off now that you use the Netflix password to watch the documentary to talk about on my show.
Yeah, I think how it works.
Yeah, I might have to give it to like one more person in Blue Collar Media Group and then be like, yeah, it's a company Netflix account.
Yeah, maybe that's how it
gotta works. Have. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you just gotta have a good tax guy.
Yeah.
But anyway, the new Netflix Untold on the Manti Te'o catfishing story, which I remember this was fun watching this because I remember this all coming out, and it actually pissed me off that one of the guys in this documentary says, I don't think people can appreciate how big of a story this was. No, motherfucker. I appreciate how big of a story it was because I was there and it was the only thing that anyone talked about.
No, we were there.
Like,
we were live.
Yeah, I was there. It was the only thing being talked about anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere. It was the only story.
Yeah.
They were like forgetting about other things. Be like, but did you hear about Manti Te'o and his not so real girlfriend?
And I mean, like, Bud, they said in the documentary, it was Tiger Woods, Lance Armstrong, Manti Te'o.
Yeah.
Like,
it was wild.
Pretty big.
But it did. I like getting the more behind the scenes on this. I knew how big it was. I knew a lot about this. First of all, Deadspin was relevant.
Yeah.
For a period of time because of this. This is how big that this guy says we can't appreciate how big of a story was. This was so big that it made Deadspin relevant.
Yeah.
And then they were like quickly not.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. Like, hey, bye. Yeah. So they, of course, the guy who did most of the work for Deadspin was paid in sandwiches and beer.
Can confirm.
Yep, that's what he tells us in the documentary.
Yep.
This is the guy responsible for breaking the biggest story, maybe the biggest story, probably the biggest story, right? In sports that year and for
years to come.
For several years, that it was the biggest story, and no story was bigger than that. I mean, for several years, this took over everything. The ESPN, all these other networks did no research on this. This dead girlfriend. This whole This was on like the media looks really stupid in this. Because Deadspin's talking, they have got that guy with that one clown that they had with Deadspin in this, and he was like, "Oh well, you know, I'm pretty good at finding stuff that other people can't find." And what he was telling us was that he just Googled the girl's name, and it's the only story was about that. And so you used Google and Facebook.
Google, Facebook.
Yeah, like, oh, okay, good for you, buddy. Yeah, I'm really good at finding stuff. You just fucking you use Google and Facebook.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's not anything that ESPN didn't have people that could do.
Yeah,
they just
didn't have access.
Chose not to do it.
Yeah, yeah, and that I think the worst part is you have USA Today, you have ESPN, you have all these big companies, and even in 2009 they were big then. Sports has always been big. USA Today has always been big. All these news outlets have always been big, and they have the resources to do the necessary backup.
Yeah, and they just went off, okay, this is what we were told, and like they're supposed to do the little bit of research. Like this shouldn't have been hard for them to find. They just got, oh, this guy's girlfriend died, and then really it didn't. That should have thrown someone off, I think, like right away. The fact that was the only story about the girl anywhere. There was no obituary. There was no story of a car crash that she apparently died in. It was an easy thing for Deadspin to really kind of figure out once they were given the tip.
Yeah.
But it should have been easy to. Someone at ESPN USA Today should have been able to do that research.
Exactly.
Now, for anyone who didn't watch college football back then, I know me and you did.
Yeah.
Manti Te'o was an absolute force of fucking nature.
Yes.
On the field that season. He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Surefire first round pick. Couldn't miss.
No doubt.
Yeah, the guy was gonna. Not only was about to could have won the Heisman.
Yeah.
Arguably should have that year because this hadn't come out yet. The national championship hadn't been played.
Yeah.
I thought they would win the national championship because again the story hadn't come out yet. This ended all of that for him, man. Like anyone who tries to deny that this was in his head, like this absolutely affected what he was on the field.
100%.
And this hadn't even come out yet. And they played it during the broadcast, the national championship game, the announcers are saying Manti Te'o just doesn't look like his head is in the game right now.
Now, mind you, that Alabama team was pretty good.
It obviously was a very good Alabama team, but it already looked like his head wasn't even in the game, and no one even knew about the story yet. And then we thought, how much was actually going on in his head at the time of that national championship? Like, again, respect to Alabama, but there is no way that he was in the game because this chick, Naya, is a fucking sociopath.
To a T.
Yeah, like that. Running the whole story that she was dead for so long. Like, well, first of all, just catfishing someone to that extent.
Yeah, just to even think about
just to even do that, a little crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. But then you factor in the voices, the voicemails, changing your voice like that. Then you factor in running this whole story, but she's dead. Using that to meet him in person with the little kid.
And they're like, oh, we're hugged out.
Dude, fucked up. That's fucking crazy shit. That is crazy, diabolical shit right there. And then you factor in, this is, dude, me and you just talked about this before we went live. This was the part that fucking blew me away, dude, was when this chick, all of a sudden now, he gets a text, hey, it's me, it's Lene. I'm alive. I had to go into hiding, which is like, really, you're gonna come up with something kind of that. I need to go into hiding. I come on. But he had her send the picture of proof. And she got the picture of her going like this whole sign, whatever, with the date. But to coming back and trying to tell him like, hey, I'm alive now, like, dude, you could have already had it ended at, because the media was just apparently just going to run with like, oh, okay, his girlfriend's dead.
Yeah. And I don't really even have words to describe how you would even think
about messaging that girl
was
like sending that message to get that picture.
Like, and she just did it. She was just like, oh, okay. She was like, oh, it's for my cousin who got into a car accident. And
yeah.
He's trying to recover. Like, lie after a lie. And then he's getting phone calls from her cousin and then her brother. And then all in while, it's still the same fucking guy.
Yeah.
Doing it.
And she's who was a guy who's now a woman. I'll just have to say that she identifies now. She is actually a woman. She's up there in this video, in this documentary, looking for sympathy. I thought you were just answering a phone call. But she's looking for sympathy in this, and it's like, no, dude, you're crazy. Like,
100%. Like,
this is insane.
And I mean, even Dr. Phil was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, well, oh, there he is. He's back. Yeah, Dr. Phil being coming up. I didn't even realize that this dude ended up on Dr. Phil.
I had no idea he made it to Dr. Phil.
Which I'm not surprised.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
Like, I'm like, oh, Dr. Because I'm like, why is Dr. Phil here? And then it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. The story made it to Dr. Phil. Of course it.
Yeah, in like 2000. Like,
yeah, of course, Dr. Phil was all over that, dude. Dr. Phil's like, what's up? I'm Dr. Phil.
Yeah, 100%.
We're gonna talk about trauma.
Yeah, 1000.
I'm Dr. Yeah. You now again, some of these young kids, man, they might not understand what we had to deal with as like growing up. It's like Dr. Phil was a prominent name in television.
That was the guy. That was.
If there was some fucked up situation going on with
he had it.
A teenager or a young adult, man, they had to talk to Dr. Phil.
Yeah, he had
big stories in the news. What is Dr. Phil gonna say?
Yeah,
it's Dr. Phil.
Yeah,
he's a doctor and his name is Phil. We got to listen to him.
Yep, and then we listened to Judge Judy.
Yes, but we still listen to Judge Judy. We've always listened to Judge Judy. It's been going on for like 30 years. We still listen to Judge Judy.
Dr. Phil, Judy Steinlen, like right there.
Yeah, that's There was a small period of time when I was like a young kid where like Bill Nye was someone we listened to, and now we're like, okay, now you're just an idiot.
Yeah.
It's funny how things work. Anyway, yeah, this chick's crazy. Like this whole, I mean, I feel bad for the girl whose picture was used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, because all of a sudden she's like, wait, that innocent picture I sent out to an old friend, like an old acquaintance,
Yeah.
that was supposed to be in support of somebody who was in a car accident, like that was to scam.
Yeah.
I
think a lot of because I've seen a lot of talk on Twitter. They're just like, I don't understand how you couldn't see it. In 2009, like, that was just starting the peak of social media. Like,
yeah,
it was still new to really everybody. Social media was like, Facebook wasn't that old. MySpace wasn't that old. You know, some people were using AIM. The iPhone wasn't even a thing yet. Like,
yeah. I mean, if anything, this Naya person basically almost made catfishing more of a thing.
right.
It brought catfishing to light, really.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't seem like 2009 was that long ago, but like
the 2009 was a long time ago, man.
Right.
In 2009, I hadn't even been arrested.
Well, so Facebook was 5 years old when that happened.
I think in 2009, I was still thinking I might go to college.
The first Apple iPhone was released in January 27, 2007. So the iPhone was only 2 years old in 2009.
Yeah. It's social media is like it's not as big then.
We had zero idea what social media was going to turn into. And coming from a family like that, a very strict Mormon family that have a lot of faith in their culture and their people, having faith in people and having the trust in their people, when you personified yourself as one of their people, he instantly trusted you.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, 100%. I know. So this all comes out, and here's another one of the troubling parts of the documentary is Deadspin breaks this story that, I mean, wasn't that they did their research. It didn't seem like they did any complicated research.
Yeah.
They know that there's a fake girlfriend.
Yeah.
They know the girlfriend's not alive. It was never real. They know there was a catfishing story. They got it. They released a story, and what the media ends up running with off of this is, oh, well, if he'd never met his girlfriend, then he must be gay.
Yeah.
That was what they get.
And that's not even what the story is.
Gay. Like, okay, well, he wasn't.
Yeah.
If he was, who fucking cares? What did that have to do with anything?
Yeah. I mean, we were going right, and then
it was still there was still a psychopath who did this to him, and you guys still didn't do any work.
That's what I was saying. Like, they're turning the entire face of the media against Manti, and you're like, hello, what are you?
It was deflection. It was like, looking back at it now, it was just it was classic media deflection. But like, yeah, but look at.
Oh, they're like, oh, but look at he did.
Yeah, but look at this.
Yeah. I'm like,
and it's disgusting. The NFL, these NFL teams who like held this against him too, like it was definitely held against him.
Oh, 100%.
Because he said, oh, that's all anyone want to ask him about, which, like, see, I understand that they wanted to get a little more information on that situation, because you are making a big investment into a guy when you draft him in the NFL.
Yeah, in the first round.
Yeah, in the first round. You are.
Yeah.
Well, I can understand they want Asco, but that's also what made him focus on that. Partially what made him keep focusing on that. Because everyone wanted to know what happened. He was questioning himself. Because I think he would have been a good player if this didn't happen to him. Or maybe if it just kept on. Maybe if like it had happened, but had never found out that his girlfriend didn't exist. And he just like kept playing off like if he was able to do that for his entire career, the dude would have been a fucking force.
That's like, I mean, she probably cost him first round pick back in
millions.
I mean, millions of dollars. A 5-year deal.
And that's his. We're not talking just first round pick either. We're
Endorsed
top 10.
Like
it's not like a back of the first round type of thing he was going to be.
No, he was
a top 10 draft pick.
Yeah, easy top 10. Yeah.
Like at least it probably could have gone in the top 5 if this hadn't come out. Even after that national championship game. If this hadn't been there, then he's a top 5, top 10 draft pick. Easily.
Even in 2009, you're probably talking about a 5-year, $30 million deal. Probably. I mean, a $5 million a year.
Yeah. And said what did he get? Second, third round pick?
He was in the second round, 38th pick. So, I mean, millions of dollars off the table.
Yeah, millions of dollars. Millions.
Yeah.
So yeah, no sympathy for Nia. The media sucks.
Yeah.
They're lazy and they're douchebags.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much sums up the Teo documentary.
Yeah, I mean, he would have actually went to the Giants, what would have happened to him? I don't think he would have played. He said he wanted to go to the Giants. That's the place that they said they were the most interested in him. That New York media would have ate him alive.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't have worked. New York, Philly, even fortunately, I have to say New England media would have been Reverend Park because New England media just hates, like, you've seen the stuff I put out. They hate you when you're a good player for the team without any drama. So, if you had this kind of backstory, they would have destroyed you.
I mean, the day one, the day you retire, it's the same question.
Yeah. So we'll move on to the appeal. The NFL appealed the judge's ruling on the Deshaun Watson suspension, and they came back with their own little. They're settling at 11 games, which still to me is not enough. I understand it is sizably more than 6. They also set it up so his first game back is against the Texans. And they also made sure that he'd get 6 games in, because if he's plays in 6 games, it's something about a contract guarantee. So the NFL doing this, they gave him a longer suspension while still helping him out financially and helping themselves out financially. And it's kind of gross.
It's at first I thought they were going to come down with a year. Like when this all started, they would come down for a year. And then the NFLPA would step in and they would negotiate it down to 10, 11, 12, whatever.
Yeah.
But and then I'm not saying that it would have justified it, but now having this arbitrator come out and say 6, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, fuck the arbitrator. We're going to go with 11.
Well, see, well, what's funny is the arbitrator actually said, I think it deserves a lot more than 6 games, but based on the precedent that you yourself have set, the NFL, this is what I can suspend him for, because that's what's fair based on precedent you've set in this situation. And now they're like, oh, shit, we look bad, so we need to try to look better.
Which is
so then they're like, okay, we'll suspend him longer so we look better, because we don't look good. But they're like, but wait, we don't want to miss a high marquee game like Deshaun Watson's first game back being against the Texans.
Yeah,
we don't want to take too much money out of Deshaun's pocket. All right, we'll go to 11 games. It's fucked. It's fucked up.
Where he has zero remorse.
He's shown zero remorse. He doesn't think he did anything wrong.
And the owners are absolutely senile. Well, we believe in second chances.
And,
really?
Yeah, second chances.
That's the card you're going to play. But we're trying to be sensitive to the victims. Yeah, victims of this guy who now his lives are ruined. They can't even go to their jobs anymore. They are ruined.
Yeah. They would, and so one thing I keep seeing that on Twitter is people comparing this to like, oh, nothing happened to Robert Kraft and Deshaun Watson's getting all this. I have to point out, in case anyone watching my show doesn't realize this, but I think any of my viewers just might have to realize this. They are entirely different situations.
Yeah.
Robert Kraft paid a sex worker for a blowjob, for a hand job.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson tried to force
himself,
massage therapist, to perform sexual acts on him.
Yeah.
They are two completely different situations.
I mean,
Deshaun Watson's a fucking scumbag.
And they said they relieved after the verdicts come down just because it's over. And I don't think they realize it's not over. It's never going to be over. The entire time that man takes the field to the day he either leaves Cleveland or retires in Cleveland, he's a marked man for the rest of his life.
Yeah, 100%. And he should be.
It's not, okay, we're done. Oh, well, he can only use massage therapists that are in-house. First of all.
Oh, and you know what? Now that's because the Texans already tried to cover it up for him before. So this is the Browns just coming right out here with he's going to only use in-house massage therapists.
Yeah.
We're just going to cover it all up for Deshaun now. Scumbags. Absolute scumbags.
And that's
fucking old, rich fucking white men who don't care about anyone else.
And it just, they said, oh, it's just typical Cleveland against the world. No.
You brought this one on yourself.
No, it's not just the world. Like, you did this. You gave a man $240 million guaranteed money.
Listen, you gave a guy who had more sexual assault accusations than he did career wins in the NFL.
Yeah.
The highest guaranteed contract.
Yeah.
In the history of the NFL.
And that's what, so the other thing is the fine. $5 million is a fucking drop in the bucket.
He got 230 million, dude. 5 million is.
They said, well, he only gets paid. His base salary this year is $1 million. I said, okay, what's his? Oh, $45 million this year. Yeah, it's all a sign-on. So really,
Yeah.
$40 million.
Yeah. So
in games.
So you mean he got like $40 million up front, and then they're paying him another $1 million during the season? Yeah. Oh no, he's only getting paid a few $100,000 a week this year during the season. That's too bad. I guess I'll just have to live off that $40 million paycheck he got when he signed the freaking deal.
But just, I mean, absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, just absolutely horrible. Now, I do have to, we'll move on. I hate that I have to fucking keep talking about this shit, man.
Yeah.
But, I'd like to just, not talk about him, but like I am, I don't know what, I have to. Brady was also trying to go to Vegas in 2020.
Yeah.
So, first of all, this further confirms he was never coming back to the Patriots.
100%, yeah.
He made up his mind.
Yeah.
It wasn't that Bill forced him out. It wasn't Kraft made a decision. Brady made up his mind. He wasn't coming back to the Patriots. He was moving on. Dana White says during the UFC last night that he was negotiating the deal.
Yeah.
I'd like to know a time frame on when he was doing this too, by the way, because there might have been some tampering here. I do have to wonder about a time frame on when all this was going on. For Brady and Gronk, which actually is definitely tampering there. Gronk was retired and under contract with the Patriots, so there's definitely tampering there. By the way, NFL, if you still care about that?
No.
No. Didn't benefit that benefits the Patriots to talk about this one, right? Yeah. So, Dana White was making the deal, and it was all but done. Brady was already looking at houses in Vegas. And then John Gruden killed the deal. So this is, Brady said last year that he was looking at a few teams like, oh, you picked that motherfucker over me.
Yeah.
Derek Carr is that motherfucker.
That's the guy.
Yeah, Derek Carr is that motherfucker that. And now Josh McDaniels gets to coach that motherfucker. I think that's kind of ironic.
Yeah. Now he's coaching him.
Yeah. So here, I'm going to go a little conspiracy theory on you. Now, during last season, these old emails from Gruden come out and get leaked.
Yeah.
And now, obviously, they had to fire him. And what he said was terrible.
Yeah.
And they had to fire him because he's not going to get control of that locker room. But the timing was a little weird, even before I thought about any of this. It was always like, oh, okay, like 10 years later, and all of a sudden, like, someone's got these emails. They've always had these. Like,
yeah.
Why is it coming out now? You know? So, John Gruden nuked the deal that would have gotten Tom Brady and Gronk in Vegas. Made the Raiders a ton of money. And then something came out that allowed the Raiders to get rid of John Gruden without having to pay him his full contract.
Yeah.
And the Raiders, the Davis family, the Raiders owners, the Davis family, is one of the most powerful families in the NFL. It would be very possible for the Davis family to sabotage another man's career through NFL leaks, through media leaks. It would be entirely plausible. I'm just throwing it out there that maybe Mark Davis helped leak those fucking emails out so he could get away from paying John Gruden, because he thought clearly John Gruden was a bit of a moron, because he was like, no, Derek Carr's.
My God.
Wait, you know what I've seen from Derek Carr?
Yeah.
I've seen Derek Carr do this, and Derek Carr does that.
Yeah.
Oh, my name's John Gruden. I know about quarterbacks.
Yeah.
That was a terrible John Gruden impersonation, but you know what I was going for.
I got it.
Yeah, I couldn't stand John Gruden. When John Gruden was coaching, I can understand like why he thought like he went with Derek Carr over Brady, because when John Gruden was doing Monday Night Football, every quarterback that ever played on Monday Night Football was the best quarterback that John Gruden had ever seen play in the game of football.
Ever.
So, like, he saw Derek Carr practice like a bunch of times and was like, oh my God, this is the best quarterback I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was, it's John Gruden. He just over-evaluated, overrated player because of a couple things he saw. I hate to make that the story here, but I have to wonder if the Davis family had anything to do with that. Of course, John Gruden never should have been saying what he fucking said.
Yeah,
he shouldn't have been being racist in the first place back in like 2012 when these emails were being sent, but the timing of them coming out was always fucking weird to me. And now it makes it a little bit weirder.
I want to know what the deal was.
I do too.
That's what I want. What kind of a... Because it would have been Gronk's rights, right? And then just outright...
Which they already did. Had they already talked to the Patriots about the trade for Gronk? Because I mean, it was going to happen anyway. It wasn't going to be hard. But
so Brady was done, right? Didn't have a contract, right?
We see that Dana White didn't give a time frame on when they were talking. This is what's interesting to me.
Yeah, there's going to be an investigation.
Because was this going on when he was talking to Miami illegally?
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely going to be an investigation now.
Yeah, now
Dana White. It's not like I'm going out there and saying it. It's Dana White. Like,
yeah, he's
Dana White. Like, they're going to do an investigation now.
100% they're going to do an investigation. Well, I don't know, they might not, because they might think that it would. If they find out that there's another team guilty of tampering and that this could benefit the Patriots again, then like they might want to shove this one under the rug. Because they should already. You know what? I'm gonna do this for the other Patriots fans, because you're a fucking Steelers fan.
Yeah.
Do you agree with me that one of those picks that has been taken away from the Dolphins for that tampering should be awarded to the New England Patriots for the Brady tampering?
Yeah, I mean, if you're the team, if you own that guy and you take that pick, give them rounder.
They took a first and a third away from the Dolphins. I mean, are they just no one's drafting there?
If you want to take a condition, like, I don't know, have like conditional pick, or I don't see how you could take a first off of a team that's in your division. I understand the repercussions and then give it that first to the team.
I can understand if they didn't give them the first, but the Patriots should get that third rounder.
The third round I could see. I wouldn't have any problem with it, at least.
Makes the first rounder I can understand if they're like, no, we can't can't take a first round pick away from the Dolphins and hand it to the Patriots.
And that's what you could talk me probably into a additional second round or something like that. but it's tough for me to say that if you take
Oh, well,
picks to give them a first.
and so if it comes out that this was going on at the same time as the Miami situation, and that the Raiders were also guilty of tampering with Brady at the same time,
yeah, that's no good.
The NFL's hand might be a little forced. They might have to reward the Patriots with a pick.
Yeah,
As
that's
hard
not.
as that may be for Roger Goodell.
I mean, that's not a good look for the Shield. It's not.
No, and you know what, dude? It's a fucking terrible look for fucking Tom Brady, who, like, man, all my life, man, I thought this was like he was that guy. And you know what? I was fine with him like leaving at first, like I justified in my head. Being under contract and going out to take dinners on a yacht to discuss signing with a division rival.
Yeah.
While you were under contract with us, that's one thing. Is like if
he went straight to Tampa and had no issue, I wouldn't have had an issue with it.
Yeah, I could have lived with that. I've been living with it. I could have lived with it. But trying to sign with a division rival, man.
Yeah.
You would have played us twice a year. Like this is a guy we thought he loved the Patriots fans. No, the fuck you didn't. You wanted to play us twice a year.
Yeah.
And then the Gronk, I knew this about Gronk when he fucking retired at first. He fucking quit because fucking Brady told him to.
Yeah.
I hated the timing of his retirement at first. I did, because it was after the draft and it was after free agency. And they couldn't address the loss of Gronk.
Yeah.
They couldn't even try to. And I didn't like that timing, but I lived with it because it's his body.
Yeah.
It done enough for me, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, as soon as Brady's playing for another team, oh no, I can play ball again. Oh, I feel great, Tom. Where do you want to go? What are we gonna do? Hey, boo boo.
Yeah, 100%.
But he was also going to go to Vegas, right? So it was wherever Tom went. This was planned on before the contract was up. It's gross. It's a gross look.
Yeah.
For Brady. And you know what? At this whole time this is going on, this dude is taking a fucking 2-week break in the middle of preseason, in the middle of camp, when you're trying to contend for a Super Bowl. Even if you're not trying to contend for a Super Bowl, taking a 2-week break in the middle of camp is fucking unheard of.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's doing the Masked Singer like people are.
Yeah, I saw that.
I don't know if he's doing the Masked Singer. I really hope he's not, because that would be a terrible, terrible, terrible. Oh my God, such a bad look.
What are you talking about? Oh my God.
But I am glad that we're not dealing with this here on the Patriots. If it did ever come down to the choice between Belichick or Brady, well, I'm glad we stuck with this no-nonsense coach instead of a guy who's like, yeah, you know what, dude, I don't really care about training camp, man. I'm gonna go hang out.
I mean, today it's just like he would have had to been in the division with Pat Mahomes, Justin Herbert, not Derek Carr anymore. Who would have been that quarterback at the time? The Broncos weren't relevant, but now it would be relevant.
Well, so here's the other. If they had Brady, and they get Gronk, are they keeping Waller around? Probably, right?
I would assume he would be the Hernandez.
So really all you would have had would be Brady, Gronk, Renfro, Waller, Josh Jacobs. It's not. I don't think Brady was elevating. They would have made them a lot better. It would have been a good.
But I don't think
I don't think they're going
Hi, Steve.
Hey, yeah, lost internet connection there with like 2 minutes left to go on the show. There we go. But yeah, I don't. That team, well, it would be a decent team, but it's not going to the Super Bowl.
You're not beating Pat Mahomes 3 times.
You're not. Sorry, bud, but yeah, this is like it's a bad look for Tom Brady in general, man. This is it changed
in the NFL under Roger Goodell. It's just another one. Add to the
list. What a surprise! It's Roger Goodell. These black eyes. How does it keep happening?
I mean, I'm still waiting for Dan Snyder to get his shit left at the door, and that's still probably not going to happen.